This video is a reaction to the next video, the Cyclopean Biological Superpower, Western Greece. At 9:19 the author says, how could the exceptional shipyard in Oiniades in Greece escape contributing with vessels and ships? The link is presented in the description and comment section of this video. Sometimes the simplest answer is the best. Our origin for existence answer is, the ships related to the exceptional shipyard, shipbuilding, in Oiniades were considered most important for what they were doing all the time before the Trojan War, and that is, in our opinion, the hauling in, picking up and delivering, of resources. Like metals and maybe wood and food, for war economy. Also the one related to the Trojan War, that had been going on. From here on we give more details, and these will not always be so simple or direct, because alliances change during the course of the events. That the ships of, or rather produced in, the shipyard in Oiniades were hauling in, picking up and delivering, resources including metals, is quite clear since the incoming Indo-Europeans were cutting off and impeding access to the resources of the Bronze Age cultures. Since the resource wealth lies west and behind Gibraltar, and obviously resources and metals are essential in any war economy. As we all know today, the incoming Indo-Europeans will prevail and turn over, or replace and/or absorb all that were from before these incoming Indo-Europeans. Further, in the case the Trojan War was related to the conflict between Bronze Age cultures and incoming Indo-Europeans. They probably are related, for sure they are temporarily associates and related. Then we hypothesize that Troy was an older Bronze Age culture, and that the Hellenes at least at some point in time inclined more to the incoming Indo-Europeans. If the Hellenes, with their Trojan War army led by Agamemnon, still, were not a Bronze Age culture, anymore, then the shipyard in Oiniades. Same as the Castellanas and Tartesso. All earlier Cyclopean wall builders, shipyard builders, and expert miners and/or resource, including metals, traders, had or now, decided to, made an alliance with the incoming Indo-Europeans. As a note, Cyclopean wall builders, Phoenicians, Basques, which appear later, and last but not least American cultures, Native Americans, are associated over time. They all were involved in navigating, including back and forward to the Americas, and resources, and were powerful and rich. At least so for the time they were capable in excelling in these things and also had the arm length on oceans to fully go for it. The shipyard in Oiniades had been contemporary with the Bronze Age cultures, at their height. But the shipyard in Oiniades had stayed kind of independent from the Bronze Age cultures. Your question about, how could the exceptional shipyard in Oiniades escape contributing to the Trojan War with vessels and ships? Seems something on the sidelines. However, the explanations are in fact far and deep-reaching into our human history. Its influence and that of its related groups becomes intercontinental, and certainly does so if the ancestral markers are right about out of the Americas. They are in fact the obvious tool and the only thing that is complete and correct. As said, the resource wealth lies west and behind Gibraltar. That sometimes is referred to as the Pillars of Hercules, as in the case of Plato's dialogues. In Plato's dialogues, the Pillars of Hercules refer to the Strait of Gibraltar, which separates Europe and Africa. Plato places the legendary island of Atlantis beyond these pillars, emphasizing that it was a point of no return for ancient mariners, marking the edge of the known, Mediterranean, world. Plato describes Atlantis as lying beyond the Pillars of Hercules in the Atlantic Ocean. This placement contributes to the mythical and enigmatic nature of Atlantis, suggesting it was a civilization beyond the reach of ordinary travelers. This further confirms that only expert navigators like for instance the Cyclopean wall builders, Phoenicians, Basques, which appear later, and last but not least certain American cultures, Native Americans, which at the same time all are associated over time. Very probably all these expert navigators, at their respective heights, were respected for their skills and knowledge. In hindsight and in overview, the Bronze Age cultures collapsed in the Late Bronze Age collapse as soon as they were cut off from the Atlantic Ocean. Most probably it was an anticipated strategy of the incoming Indo-Europeans to cut off the Bronze Age cultures of expeditions and deliveries of resources, including for them essential metals, like for instance tin, that they needed to produce bronze and obviously also warfare. In the course of this video, we show some maps presenting modern-day frequencies of haplogroups that are related to the group of expert navigators, demonstrating that even today their descendants would be in the right place to cut off access to whatever is beyond the Pillars of Hercules and in or across the Atlantic Ocean. It is very clear that YDNA R1b, the incoming Indo-Europeans, and the more ancient YDNAI are on the line of the incoming North Atlantic Gyre and current. Even the ancient, but rather rare YDNA haplogroup R1b-DF27, which is attributed to the Basques, is in place to defend or block the Pillars of Hercules. All this is perfectly predictable if researchers would start to consult the ancestral markers, or at least the relevant haplogroups, as you can see for yourself on your screen. All this could very well be a legacy of that time, conflict, and consequent collapses.